Intro news music fades in and then under. Hello and welcome. Tensions are escalating in the Caribbean as the United States significantly increases its military presence near Venezuela. In response, Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro has issued a public plea for calm, but analysts are warning that the region is teetering on a dangerous precipice. In recent weeks, the United States has deployed a formidable array of military assets to the waters and skies near Venezuela. We're talking about advanced warships, fighter jets, and sophisticated surveillance aircraft. One highly visible example was the arrival of the destroyer USS Gravely in Trinidad and Tobago, marking the largest U.S. naval deployment to the Caribbean in decades. Officially, Washington states that these missions are aimed at combating transnational crime, disrupting drug trafficking routes, and enhancing border security. However, from the perspective of Caracas, these maneuvers look less like law enforcement and more like a direct provocation, a potential prelude to foreign interference in their sovereign affairs. Faced with this growing military pressure, President Maduro has taken to the airwaves with a powerful message. Not war, not war, not war. Peace forever, he declared passionately on state television. In a direct appeal to an international audience, he pleaded in English, "No crazy war, please, please, please." Behind this call for peace, however, is a stern warning. Maduro has accused Washington of plotting a regime change operation. He has made it clear that if any foreign forces were to attack Venezuelan territory, they would be met by a republic in arms. This isn't just rhetoric. Venezuela has reportedly mobilized its militia units and bolstered its coastal defenses in response to the U.S. presence, signaling their readiness to defend their sovereignty. To understand the gravity of this situation, we have to look at the immense stakes involved. Venezuela is a nation already grappling with severe challenges, a collapsed economy, a humanitarian crisis that has triggered mass immigration, and a government crippled by international sanctions. This military buildup doesn't just threaten a patch of ocean. It has the potential to ignite a fire of regional instability that could be difficult to contain. From the U.S. perspective, the operation remains officially framed as a necessary counter-narcotics and crime-fighting effort. However, critics, both domestic and international, are skeptical. They suggest this could be a form of coercive diplomacy, using military might to pressure the Maduro government, or perhaps even the first step toward a more direct intervention. The ripples of this standoff are being felt across the Caribbean. Neighboring countries are watching with deep concern. In Trinidad and Tobago, the arrival of the USS Gravely was met with protests and expressions of alarm from political leaders, who labeled the deployment a dangerous provocation that could destabilize their own backyard. This unease is echoed on the global stage. The United Nations, along with regional blocs like CELAC and human rights organizations, are all urging for dialogue and de-escalation. The consistent message from the international community is that diplomacy, not military posturing, is the only viable path forward to resolve the underlying issues. So, where do we go from here? As both sides dig in their heels, the future appears to hinge on three potential pathways. The best-case scenario is a diplomatic breakthrough that leads to de-escalation and a return to constructive dialogue. The more worrying path involves an escalation into covert operations, cyber attacks, or minor skirmishes at sea or in the air, which could easily spiral out of control. And the worst-case scenario is a larger, direct confrontation that could draw in other regional actors, creating a conflict with devastating consequences for the entire hemisphere. President Maduro's call for peace is unequivocal, but the situation remains incredibly fragile and unpredictable. The military hardware is in place, the political rhetoric is heated, and the margin for error is shrinking by the day. As President Maduro continues to call for dialogue, the world holds its breath, watching to see if this tense standoff can be resolved peacefully or if the region will slide from diplomacy into open conflict. Right now, the key question hanging over both Caracas and Washington is the same. Will the path forward be one of peace or one of escalating pressure? We will continue to follow these developments closely. Thank you for watching. If you found this report informative, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth analysis on global news. Your support helps us continue to bring you these important news alerts. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time.